If you clicked on this video, you are probably trying to become a better fighter, and today I will be teaching you how you can learn to fight like a pro by giving you guys the best tips as well as practice methods to use to help implement these tips into your gameplay. I will also be giving you all tips that have helped me improve over the last year. Before hopping into the video, I'd like to shout out Cats Are Cute for being so supportive on the channel, and if you would like a chance to be shout out in a future video, make sure to drop a comment down below. Starting off with the first tip to becoming a better fighter is the most basic and obvious tip, which is making sure to aim train, and I can tell you that 99% of the player base does not aim train on a consistent level. And I know aim training is boring, like it really is, let's be real, but I can say that I've seen massive improvement in my aim since I started to aim train consistently. There are many ways you can aim train, and I would recommend Kovacs just because I'm familiar with it and I know many pros that use Kovacs. But you can also use aim labs, and if you're on console, there are many maps in Fortnite that provide aim training and even aim duels for the most realistic practice. If you're using Kovacs or aim labs or another type of aim trainer, I recommend also doing some aim training in Fortnite after to get more comfortable with realistic targets. The best way to aim train consistently is just by implementing it into your warm-up. Instead of doing 1v1s in your warm-up, do 15 minutes of aim training and then go into 1v1s. This being said, another tip I have is crucial to being able to play at your very best when going into a ranked or a tournament, and that is expanding your warm-up. Most of you will just free build for 5 minutes and go play ranked or a tournament. Every time you get on Fortnite, you should have a 30-minute warm-up, and your warm-up should consist of aim training, mechanic training, aka editing, piece control, retakes, etc., and 1v1s. You can divide the 3 warm-ups into 30 minutes. Between these 3 warm-ups, I recommend 10 minutes of each, but do whatever suits you best. If your mechanics are great, but your aim needs work, then spend more time on your aim than your mechanics, and vice versa. The main reason that you should be warming up is so that you are at your very best going into ranked, and that is so you can VOD review your gameplay after to see your actual mistakes. If you go and VOD review right when you hop on, you're gonna see yourself making so many mistakes, and that's just purely because you're not warmed up. VOD reviewing is one of the most crucial things to becoming a pro as well as a great fighter. Fortnite provides us this great feature where you can go into replays and watch your games and rewatch how you played, as well as how your opponents played and what they did. And by doing this, you will realize some of the most simple mistakes cause you the most problems, which you can make sure you work on and don't make the same mistake in the next game. It also allows you to see what things you need to improve on the most, whether you're missing too many edits or missing too many shots, or even just not hitting enough pellets to do more damage with your shotgun, or if you made a bad peek, edit, and etc. Moving on to my next tip is, instead of playing ranked for hours on end, use what you learned from your VODs and work on those mistakes in creative repeatedly and make sure you don't make those mistakes again. After spending time in creative on those mistakes, then you can go into ranked and use what you've learned in creative and repeat the process. But keep in mind, most mistakes you make aren't a one-day fix, and it could take a week to fix and maybe even more. Another tip I have when learning new things and trying to implement them into your gameplay is really focus on what you learned. For example, if you learn that you keep making a bad peek or edit, work on making a different edit in creative and 1v1ing or free building. And when you go into ranked, set a goal to make that new edit you learned at least twice in every fight you get in, and eventually it'll become muscle memory. When you're 1v1ing to practice what you've learned, you should always make sure to 1v1 someone who's better than you. It's the most efficient way to get better and see improvement. If you're 1v1ing, you know, some little Timmy, you're not gonna see any improvement because, well, you're already better than them. Moving on to one of the most important tips on today's video is solos. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The key to improving on anything is solos, especially when it comes to fighting. You will improve 10 times faster if you're consistently playing solo ranked, taking as many fights as you possibly can. I can guarantee you that you must become a good solo player before you can become good in duos or trios. It's much harder to find your mistakes in team game modes because your team is helping you, so the little mistakes aren't as crucial, so it's harder to see that you made a mistake that could have made the fight end more smoothly and faster. Another tip when looking at your mistakes, I can tell you that you'll see many mistakes you made, but don't try to fix them all at once. Fix one mistake at a time and you'll see lots more improvement that way. Another part of VODing I'd like to talk about is that VODing isn't all about watching your own gameplay and finding your own mistakes. Another part of VODing is also watching pros and seeing how pros play and how they fight, and seeing what kind of plays they make and edits they make and decisions they make in fights, and you take what they are doing and you try to learn it for yourself. Moving on is what makes a fighter a great fighter, and that is being able to piece control and make great peaks. If you are unfamiliar what piece control is, it's using your builds offensively instead of using them for defense. You're using your builds to take control of the fight and pressure your opponent and get them into your builds to give you the advantage of getting the elimination without the fight dragging out for a long time, as well as taking lots of damage.
I thought you were knocked at the beginning of this.
The first step to learning piece control is learning how to drag your builds and knowing how far your builds can go and what angle you can place certain builds at. The second step is learning how to place your builds without getting hit, and this map right here is a good way to practice that. The final step is giving yourself a good angle to get the shot off. Moving on to one of the key things to becoming a good fighter is having confidence. And by confidence, I don't mean having an ego, because let's be real, no one likes anyone with an ego. What I mean is just have confidence, don't hesitate on yourself and your decisions. Another tip when fighting is keeping your high ground at all times. If you have played ranked this season, you will know that there is lots of third parties, and boxing up can give you a disadvantage for two reasons. Reason one being there's a good chance that you're going to get trapped and looked at by multiple people, and two, it's hard to have an exit strategy when you're boxed up. Which leads me to another tip, which is don't be afraid to leave a fight and heal and reset and then go back into the fight. Most players now believe they have to fight every person they see, and when they fight, they think they have to finish the fight right there, which is not true. Don't be afraid to leave the fight and reset. Some of the best fighters in the world will leave fights and try to reset. My final tip on today's video isn't really a tip, it's more like advice. When you lose, don't get mad, and I know it's hard to not get mad, especially in a game like Fortnite, but at the end of the day, just go into another game and take every death as a learning experience, because there's always going to be another fight or another game, and there's always going to be another tournament. With that being said, that's going to be all for today's video. If you did enjoy this video and find it useful and would like to see more tips and tricks videos or follow me on my own competitive journey, make sure to hit that subscribe button, as we are pushing our way towards 3,000 subscribers, which is insane. It feels like it was yesterday when we just hit 1,000 subscribers, and I'd like to thank you all for the support. Let me know in the comments down below what tutorial you might find helpful next, and if you would like to stay updated on the channel, or if you would like to see me live, make sure to join my Discord server or follow my Twitch, link is in the description below. Without further ado, have a great rest of your day or night, and I'm out. Peace.